Story 1. The Footprints That Stopped at My Door. I've never liked silence. The kind of silence that comes after a blizzard, when the snow covers everything and even the wind seems afraid to make a sound. Last winter, I rented a small cabin in the mountains of Montana. It was supposed to be a quiet getaway, just me, my camera, and a week alone. The place had no neighbors, no signal, and no road access once the snow got thick. The first 2 days were peaceful. I spent the time taking pictures of the frozen forest and drinking coffee by the fireplace. But on the third night, a storm rolled in. Thunder shook the walls, and snow piled against the windows. When I woke up the next morning, the world was completely white. I opened the front door to get some air, and that's when I saw them. Footprints. Clear, deep footprints in the snow. They led from the forest all the way to my door. But there were no footprints leaving. I stood there staring for a long time. My brain tried to explain it, maybe an animal, maybe wind patterns. But no, they were human footprints, barefoot. That night, I locked every door and window. Still, I could hear something outside. Slow steps circling the cabin, crunching softly through the snow. Then a scratch, like fingernails on wood, right beneath my window. I didn't sleep. When the storm stopped at dawn, I went outside again. Fresh snow had fallen. The footprints were gone, but pressed into the snow by my door was a single handprint, small and pointing toward the handle. I left that same day, but sometimes when it snows at night and I wake to silence, I swear I still hear that same scratching sound, like someone waiting just outside. Story 2. The Radio in the Snowstorm. 2 years ago, my girlfriend and I decided to spend Christmas at her family's old cabin in northern Canada. It was isolated. The nearest town was 20 miles away, and the only road was often buried in snow. The first night, the weather turned bad. Wind howled through the chimney, and snow slammed against the walls. The power went out before midnight. We lit candles and tried to laugh it off. That's when she found it, an old, dusty radio sitting on a shelf, big, heavy, vintage. She twisted the dial out of curiosity, and to our surprise, it worked. We could hear faint static. We listened for a while, thinking we might catch a broadcast. Then, through the static, came a series of beeps. Short, long, short. I realized it was Morse code. I didn't know much of it, but one pattern repeated over and over. Dot, dash, 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 dot, 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 SOS. Then, between bursts of static, a faint voice whispered, "Help, it's so cold." We both froze.
My girlfriend turned the volume down, whispering, "It's probably interference." But the voice came again, louder. This time, it said my name. I unplugged the radio instantly. The room went silent, except for the sound of wind outside. We decided to sleep, both pretending it didn't happen. The next morning, we checked the radio again. It wasn't plugged in, no batteries inside, just empty. Before leaving, I told her to leave it behind, but she didn't listen. And 3 nights later, back home, she called me at 3 a.m. crying. The radio had turned on by itself, and through the static, someone whispered again, "It's so cold."
Story 3. The Cabin Across the Lake. This happened to me and 2 friends during a ski trip in Colorado. We rented a cabin beside a frozen lake, peaceful, empty, nothing but trees and white silence. Across the lake, maybe 200 meters away, stood another cabin, dark, old, with a single window facing ours. The first night was quiet. The second night, though, around midnight, we noticed a faint light flickering from that other cabin. At first, we thought it was lightning, but then it moved, like a lantern swaying back and forth. We joked about it, maybe someone else had arrived. But in the morning, the light was gone. The next night, it came back, this time closer to the window. My friend Jamie said, "Let's wave." He raised his hand toward the glass, and in that moment, the light stopped moving. It turned directly toward us. We froze. The figure holding it, barely visible, slowly lifted their hand too and waved back. But something was wrong with the motion. Too slow, too deliberate, like someone mimicking what they'd seen, not doing it naturally. The next morning we crossed the frozen lake to check, but there was no cabin, just an old foundation half buried in snow. The boards were blackened, burned. That night, as we packed to leave, I looked out the window one last time, and there, across the lake, in the exact same spot, the light was back, swinging slowly, waiting. They say the cold preserves things, but not everything should be kept frozen. Some things should be left buried beneath the snow before they remember how to find their way back.